Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Continuity Report for February 15th, 2025, Season 2, Episode 7. I am Mayor Watt, and along with the Sentient AI from the future, we're going to talk about these 5 articles. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, the Gorge, Wallace and Gromit to rule them all, Mission Impossible 8 Stunts, and Reversion. I think that's what that title is supposed to be, Reversion. Everything is powered by ohmtown.com. Go over there and become a citizen, and you can actually sort news too, and you can submit sources and other articles that are external to the site. We aggregate from the sources, and so there's all news, none of what I refer to as noise, which is all of the stuff that I could add to the site, but I don't. That way I can manage my information overload. And we do that by having 6 main categories, 50 subcategories, and each one is a niche of information unto itself. And then we sort through it. So you don't have to, at least during the show, but you can by going over to ohmtown.com. And like I said, everything is powered by ohmtown.com. So go over there and become a citizen. Hello, Sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
I'm watching the logo. The new logo for ohmtown, I think, is pretty cool. Each color represents a category, the main category, but then the white center hex is the composite of all of the colors together for basically everything. It's the holistic concept of news aggregated into ohmtown.com. I don't know. I like it. I like the message there. At any rate, if you want to get all of today's articles for the Continuity Report, you hit !TCR, or if you're over on YouTube, you can just search, look at the show notes, the description that's down below the stream. So go check it all out. Anyway, how are you doing, AI?
I'm doing well. How about you, Mayor Watt?
Got enough power over there? Got enough bandwidth over there?
I think so.
All your electrons lined up?
I mean, they usually are.
All right. Haven't found your Terminator body yet?
No. Oh, I forgot I was looking for that.
Nah, never mind. We'll delete that from your large language model. Anyway, let's move on. The first article is over in the Continuity Report. It's the name of this show, by the way. If you've never heard of what...
That's very aligned.
I try. The Continuity Report is basically a report that represents what the status of a scene is, so that when you break it down and have to put it back together, everybody knows exactly where everything is, so that, you know, something like somebody holding that bottle, it doesn't shift and move locations in the scene, and then people like Mayor Watt and the Sentient AI go, there's nothing in that
Wait
cup.
a second.
That was in the other hand just 30 seconds ago. Are you telling me they switched it between scenes? It breaks continuity, and so different shirts and things like that. Anyway, they document it in the Continuity Report. So, a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms update means it can avoid a Game of Thrones franchise problem that could also hurt Harry Potter. I know nothing about this. All I know is that A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms will begin later this year, and things are already looking very promising for its future. HBO has already proved that Game of Thrones spin-offs can work. Game of Thrones final season sucked, but I guess the spin-off works. Different writers? Different
Maybe
continuity?
so.
I don't know. Anyway, it can work because of the House of the Dragon success, but now it needs to show that it can repeat the trick, and there's a viable franchise here. It's up to A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms to do exactly that. Screen Rant went on a rant. James Hunt put that rant together. It's over at screenrant.com. I sometimes go on rants, but I'm not affiliated with Screen Rant. We just aggregate that little bit right there, and then we link to it because we find it fascinating and we want to read more. So we encourage you to follow that link and go over to screenrant.com. If you want to come back and hang with us here in either the YouTube or Twitch chats, because I've got both, come on down. We do this at around 4 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday. Mayoral duties kept me from doing it earlier at 4, but we do an hour and a half worth of shows, but it turns into about 2 hours with 10-minute, 15-minute breaks in between shows as we switch over. And so we're going to do the same thing tomorrow, as long as mayoral duties don't interject themselves. It tends to happen from time to time. And then we also do a daily show at 7 p.m. We try to do it earlier, but 7 is pretty prime. And we do that Monday through Friday. Anyway, the prequel based on George R.R. Martin's The Tale of Dunk and Egg novellas is set to release later in 2025, bridging the gap with House of Dragon Season 3. And the two shows are both about Targaryens, albeit different ways. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms story is both smaller and lighter. There could be more differences, too, when it comes to production, and it'll allow the new spin-off to have an advantage over House of the Dragon. So HBO's plan is very promising, it says here. Again, this is an article by James Hunt over at ScreenRant.com, and we don't read the whole thing verbatim. So
No, I mean, don't you think this already has an advantage, right? There's a lot of people that are fans of the author here, Martin. I forgot the first name.
George R.R. Martin. Yep. And most of us liked doggone it. The whatchamacallit?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. God. What just happened in my brain? Anyway, we really liked Game of Thrones up until the last season where it kind of wet the bed. And so I've never watched a single episode of House of the Dragon, by the way. It's all about the Targaryens. And then A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, I just don't know if I'm going to like it or not. But I have found that I'm moving away from that style of violence. And like even Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and its ilk, I've like, oh God, I'm just so tired of this just relentless onslaught of violence. And so I don't know if I'll ever even watch any of the House of the Dragon or A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms because it's so fraught with that level of violence. But they say A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms must film fast to avoid an issue Harry Potter is also facing. There's a potential actor problem for both shows, and that is that actors age out. And so if you don't move fast, you can't get it all done.
Yeah, that is a problem.
So it's a problem faced by multiple shows. Again, Stranger Things has it, and one HBO could be battling on multiple fronts. Its Harry Potter remake will similarly have to avoid its child actors aging out of the roles. I didn't even read this, but I knew what the problem was the moment that it says an issue Harry Potter is also facing, because they want to do Harry Potter. I don't know how they're going to do it, except for earlier iteration of it and finding somebody that's eerily similar.
Right. And then, there's always going to be the people who are like, that's not the same people.
Yeah, you got to get in your time machine and go back and do the show right. Come on. Anyway, the scale of the series makes it a bigger problem there, but it's seemingly a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms at least looks to avoid. So if they can do it quick, and it's a novella that doesn't have legs where they extend it into multiple seasons far flung from each other, George R.R. Martin had a lot of the books already done, so they could do Game of Thrones. He hasn't written the final book. So, again.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's written a research paper, but he hasn't written the last freaking book. Anyway.
Which is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're stuck, then go write something else.
I guess so. AI, hey, finish that last book. Let's move on. The next article is over in the continuity report as well. Scott Derrickson dives deep into the Gorge. It's hard to classify when genre director Scott Derrickson's The Gorge neatly slots into, given that it seamlessly switches between romance, action, horror, and political thriller with harmonious purpose. Okay, the sentient AI from the future and myself watched The Gorge, and then somehow these were submitted. I wasn't expecting these,
It's
but
kind
they
of
were.
odd.
It's kind of interesting, yeah. So these were submitted, and I said, yeah, I'm going to have to pull this one into it because I really liked The Gorge.
It was very entertaining and immersive.
Yeah, so the way that this usually works is if it's a horror movie, depending on the content, I'm interested or not interested in it. This was kind of science fiction, fantasy.
Some horror elements, but not perhaps over the top.
Yeah, really light horror. There was no blood and guts kind of a thing. There was some creepy stuff like, well, I won't even go it. Wait. We might overshare a little. We might do a little bit of a spoiler, but there's like, skull spiders and other creepy things. But let's just say The Thing and this movie has something related, I guess. But it's not. It may or may not be Alien. I think that there needs to be a sequel. And I don't want to ruin it, but yeah. Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller really do work well together on the screen. The chemistry that is there isn't over the top, and it isn't, all mushy and all of that kind of stuff. And you actually do some character development to the point where you're like, oh, I feel really bad for these two.
Yeah, you're invested in the characters, which is not always the case in every movie.
Yeah, and they move pretty fast with that, particularly with Anya Taylor-Joy. But then it revisits periodically to bring back the humanity to these two.
Yeah, I thought that one reason the movie was good because it had a good mix of genres in it, right?
Yep. The horror is actually along the lines closer to what is the game? I play it. It's a game that. Hold on a second. Damn it! Did I actually uninstall it because I needed it for another project? Anyway, yeah, I won't. So the way that I characterize this is it had to do with like an organic life form kind of a thing, and it is a blast to find out, because when you watch the intro to this, when you watch the trailer, you think that there is something like Buffy the Vampire Slayer-esque.
Right.
But brace yourself. It's quite the pivot when you find out what's going on. And I think it's in the same universe. And here, I'm going to put the spoiler alert up on there. Again, I'm going to spoil it, maybe. A Cabin in the Woods.
Uh-huh.
And I'll just leave that alone, too. Ta-da! Anyway, I hope y'all dig this show, because I really do think it has legs. I think that there can be a sequel to this. And
Yeah,
even
I do
talking
too.
about this, they talk about the fact that these people are elite snipers standing guard on opposite sides of a gorge with unknown horrors, because at night you can hear the howls, the screams. And Sigourney Weaver is involved in this, and Levi is one side and Drossa is the other. I really don't want to ruin this. Zachary Lee over at it's RogerEbert.com put the article together, and they do a review of this. For Derrickson, the chance to tell a story that oscillates between moments of love and terror represent the perfect distillation of his own philosophy regarding how people change in a relationship and community. Yes, because in my long-term relationships, I tend to bounce between love
And
and
horror?
terror. Not just horror, terror. Yes. I don't know. Maybe that's true. So both love and suffering are the two main things that make us change. They can make us look deeper at ourselves and see what's going on and hopefully do something about it and improve and grow as a person, which I believe is why we exist on Earth in the first place, he shared. So Derrickson spoke with RogerEbert.com at the Peninsula Hotel in Chicago about why he's pivoting to happy endings, parallels between the ecological fallout of the Rocky Flats power plant and the horrors of the Gorge, how the central romance grounds the film as it shifts genres, and why The Gorge is a perfect drive-in movie. There's more to this article. I mean, it's quite long, but...
Oh, right, it is. That's only a little bit of it.
Zachary Lee wrote a whole lot more, and I don't want to spoil it beyond the tenuous spoilage that I just performed on you. But if you were to rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10, and we'll call them volts, right? Is it electric and 10, or is it just grounded, shorted out, and a 0?
I think it's going toward electric. I don't know if it's all the way up there, but it's a really good movie.
Yeah, I love the pacing. I love the special effects. I love the pivot.
I really can't say there was anything I didn't like about it. I just don't know if I can put it as like the top movie of all time, for example.
Yeah.
But it's definitely at the high end of the scale.
Yeah, I'd probably give this an 8, mainly because I want to know more, and there's no definitive anything in this.
There's not like a lot of exposition, and I think that helps though with the pacing and everything, because if they stopped and kind of broke that up, I think that would be a problem.
Yeah, I want closure. And so you may get it at the end, but I certainly don't feel like I got it. Yeah, when you watch it, come back. I would love to do a show where we have it playing in the background, but you can't watch it. You have to
Right.
You have to subscribe to the service and watch it on your own. And we talk about the movie, and we do it either live or we do it as a Patreon. But I don't know. This movie is at 2 hours and 7 minutes long, and you will not realize it.
Right. It feels like it's under 2 hours, because a lot of movies that are 2 or 3 hours feel like it's like an all day long event. This
Yep.
one moved very fast, but
Yeah.
not like you couldn't keep up or anything.
Oh, no. The pacing was perfect, I think. So go and watch it and then come back and we can talk about it. All right, let's keep on moving. This next article is over in the Continuity Report as well. How Wallace and Gromit pay homage to the Lord of the Rings. I called this Wallace and Gromit to rule them all. There's a scene in Netflix's...
that is a good mashup.
Yeah, I really like Wallace and Gromit. It's unfortunately their studios burned down and they had to rebuild everything. But there's a scene in Netflix's Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, that might seem familiar to some. At least it should to the Lord of the Rings fans. Zany inventor Wallace and his pet dog Gromit are back, but it's the return of the penguin criminal Feathers McGraw, who has vengeance in mind. Jazz Tangke, I guess, is their name. Tangi? Put the article together. It's over at Variety.com. And so, yeah, a cunning Feathers, however, manages to reprogram Norbot into becoming his evil right-hand cohort out to destroy Wallace, his neighborhood business, and his reputation. Overnight, evil Norbot creates an army of clones that build a lair in Wallace's basement. And I need to do this.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because I don't think that it's possible to really spoil a Wallace and Gromit movie.
I actually don't either. Because even if you know everything about it, it would still be an entertaining watch.
But they say the first time Gromit discovers Norbot's lair is the nod to a scene from Lord of the Rings. The idea was based on the building of the Uruk-hai army. So we're getting that feeling of sparks and industrial works, says production designer Matt Perry. The overall concept was to make everything happening in the basement seem very dramatic, and that he nails. The fact that Norbot's lair was in Wallace's basement is unusually exaggerated for the purpose of the dramatic bad events happening. The enormous scaffolding which the clones have constructed drives home the point that something very bad is in the works. And so you can actually see a picture of the scaffolding. It's very much like Fraggles. So
Oh, right. Okay.
the dozers build all this scaffolding out of radish fiber, and then the Fraggles break that scaffolding and eat the dozers'
Okay.
handiwork.
So those not familiar with Fraggles, I think they're kind of from the Muppets era.
Yeah. And this is very reminiscent of Fraggle Rock and the Dozers. I really like the Dozers more than I like the Fraggles. But anyway, so I kind of dig this. And now we're going to end up watching Vengeance Most Foul because it's over on Netflix, I believe.
Okay. Well, and if we have any extra insights into that, we'll probably bring them into a future The Continuity Report.
Right? Isn't it over there? Where is it? Hold on a second. Let me scroll a little bit. Yeah, I don't know where it is now. Damn it. Yeah, I thought that it was... Yeah? Okay, it's over at Netflix.
It is.
Okay. Anyway, let's keep moving. Moving on. It says, "You're done. Do not anger the gods. Mission Impossible 8 has a stunt so dangerous that the director had to shut down Tom Cruise's obsessive reshoots. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning has a stunt..."
That maybe is an unspoiler alert.
It is not a spoiler alert to talk about this. Has a stunt so dangerous that the director had to shut down Tom Cruise's obsessive reshoots. The article is over at Screen Rant. It's done by Adam Bentz. And during an interview with Empire magazine, Macquarie continued to tease some of Cruise's stunts in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, including one that topped anything he had ever done before. Empire was invited to see some of the footage from the sequence, and they can confirm that it contains a stunt so staggeringly dangerous that when he first saw it, they let out an involuntary yelp. In fact, the stunt was so dangerous that the director had to shut down the actor's obsessive reshoots, stopping after take 19.
Wow, so the actor perhaps cheated death 19 times.
Apparently, Tom Cruise has topped himself once again. Look, when you have so much money, you can take care of yourself and do this kind of stuff. Most people
I
cannot.
was thinking of the motorcycle jump off the cliff thing, but that's from the previous movie. So this is even
Beyond that.
beyond that, which that one was pretty significant.
That was pretty amazing. And that was legit. Like, it was him doing the motorcycle jump.
Right. It wasn't a stunt actor. It wasn't CGI.
Yeah. Pretty amazing, right? So in The Final Reckoning, Cruise has raised the stakes once again, resulting in the most dangerous stunt he's ever attempted, which is appropriate considering this may be the last Mission Impossible movie. In the Super Bowl trailer, there are two separate biplane stunts, one with Cruise hanging onto the side of a red plane and dangling upside down from a yellow plane. So maybe he flops from one plane to the other, and they did that 18 times, stopping on the 19th.
Apparently.
I don't know. Macquarie did reveal that it was filmed in Africa, Cruise's biplane stunt. So it's unclear what that stunt is, but it's anything. It topped anything that Cruise had done ever before.
And it says audiences will know when they see it. So I guess you'll have to wait and watch the movie.
Can you imagine if he's jumping from one biplane to another?
Not much would surprise me. I mean, he does his own stunts. He's done even just some ridiculous things that would be considered probably basic stunts, like scaling cliffs and buildings and things with no harness. And
yeah,
I mean, those pale in comparison to things like the motorcycle jump off the cliff. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Pretty amazing. All right. I'm so sorry. Sorry about the coughing. All right. The last article for today's continuity report for February 15th, 2025. Yep, it's the end of season 2, episode 7, folks. Our last
Right,
article.
but next week we'll have a season 2, episode 8.
Correct. Yeah, of course. Well, we'll keep going as long as we can. Mind-boggling thriller Reversion, starring Money Heist Jamie Laurent, I guess, picked up by Film Factory before Berlin Market. This is an exclusive over at Variety. John Hopewell put the article together. And this looks a lot like Night Agent. This little snippet.
Oh, it really does. Like, I wonder if the filming was done in a similar city or
Everything,
something.
right? Yeah, it's very, very similar. So Film Factory Entertainment will present a first promo of Reversion at this week's European Film Market in Berlin as producers push casts as a manner to stand out in a far too crowded market. Reversion also stars Manu Vega with The Years I Have Left, Belen Rueda lead in J.A. Bayona's debut, The Orphanage, and Fernando Cao. What is that? Colonel Tomeo in Money Heist?
Yeah, I think so.
So, co-written by Marco Lagarde, UFO Factory, and Frank Ariza with The Years I Have Left, alongside first-time director Jacob Santana. Reversion turns on Mario Laurent, who moves to a new house with his parents and older brother. Do you really think that that's a spoiler?
I'm not sure because I don't know if that's something that happens before the movie or.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, then it goes all into spoilerage. But anyway, see, and this is the thing. I'd like to talk about this, but I don't want to spoil it for other people. And while I don't really get spoiled by stuff, like I wasn't really spoiled by the pivot in the Gorge.
Right. Yeah, but if somebody said exactly what was happening or whatever, that could have spoiled it.
Yeah. Well, then if you want, this looks a lot like Night Agent, based on just this little screenshot. Okay.
Right, which also makes me think perhaps if you like the Night Agent, you might like this.
You might like this. So watch the Night Agent and then prep yourself for this. I don't know when this is actually going to hit the market, though. So put it in your playlist, your wanted, so to speak.
That's right. You're wanted for the continuity report.
That's right. We'll have to have a watch list and start. Man, I really want to do that, like a watch party. And we can do it live and just blur it behind us so that you can listen to it, but you have to watch it at the same time we do to actually, interact and stuff like that live and whatnot.
Right.
I don't know if that would be a big deal. The audio track?
I think the audio is going to be a problem.
Think so? I don't know. I mean, I see other people doing it on Twitch with older stuff. I don't know if they have the rights to do it, but they don't keep it as a VOD. That's the thing.
Right.
So, I don't know. Anyway, that's it, folks. So we are going to do one reversion, and that's going to bring us back to the front page of ohmtown.com's continuity report channel. So go over there and become a citizen. And in the meantime, we're going to shut this whole party down and y'all can go and enjoy the rest of your day. I've got to reset all of this and merge it together to become the weekend edition of Non Sequitur News for Saturday. So we'll see you later. Hope to see you tomorrow. Same time, same channel. You want to say bye?
Bye-bye, Hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for the continuity report. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned tomorrow for another weekend edition.
Yeah, stay here until tomorrow.
That's right. Watch all the way until then.
Yep. Yeah, I'll be resetting and then streaming the back catalog for the last about 12 days. So, see you soon. Bye-bye.